No, I was just thinking like during the Atlantean times, was that time system in place then?
I know Atlanteans didn't have a time system. I don't see that. I see a clock put over like a big round circle with numbers after Atlanteans went down, were conquered. It was done on purpose, by the way. They didn't really destroy themselves. They infiltrated their structure, the wise man. They infiltrated their society first. The Greys did, with Draconians, and then they start offering to try stuff like AI inserts, which is like implants and stuff, saying that your progress would go faster and faster if you use AI. And at some point, they themselves start being obsessed with it, like we are obsessed with phones these days. And at some point, those devices took over their brains. It's like a mind control system that they started little, but then escalated. Kind of like happening here. People are so used to the phones, they cannot live without them. But then at some point, we will be offered, or we will be put in such circumstances where we just feel like we cannot physically survive without a device like a phone. And then they'll tell you there's an alternative to the phone. There's some people will be offered bracelets, others chips under skin. It doesn't matter. There's going to be different options for people, but the result will be the same, because once you got a device, when you got your digital ID, it's like you're completely submitted to the system. You cannot, a soul cannot override your brain thinking in your physical anymore. But we're not, you and me are not gonna exist in that reality. We're gonna split from it. It's gonna be gentle split for those who are awakened and aware, but it's gonna be a rough time split for those who never woke up. But basically, those who never woke up, most of them are NPCs and like no soul, meaning, but also artificial soul, but also soul that is possessed or taken by entities and totally controlled. But they're gonna transition at some point. For us, it'll be seen like they're transitioning because they leave the physical, or they just leave our contacts. Like, I used to have a friend, but now he or she is not my friend anymore. But then we would not know where that person went. It's kind of like this type of living, the system will occur. And they're planning, they wanted it to be a quick one, but now they're realizing it's going slowly, and live it that way. Because there's too much interference by souls who woke up going on also, that they don't like, and they try to correct, but they can never do that. They can never correct it. They can never interfere. They can only interfere with you when you're interfered with by entities. That's what they can do, but otherwise they're not going to be able to.
One final timeline-related question. So, the Tower of Babylon, did that happen like 6,000 years ago, and people were like telepathic before that?
Yeah, because they saw not only telepathic, but they can also see through the dimensions, through the layers. And they saw that the layers above, they saw that the dome was put over certain layers, but the dome wasn't completed energetically, and they wanted to build a tower to be able to walk up through all the layers to escape. Because back then they weren't in physical bodies and they could escape. They could literally fly off through some particular holes or whatever in that unfinished dome. But what happened is, of course, the holders, the architects of the matrix, those controllers saw them doing it. They knew what they were gonna do, and they just decided, I'll put you in the physical cage, body cage, and I'll separate you by languages, religions, and all the other sets of belief systems. That's exactly what they did. It's a tragedy. It's one of the tragedies of souls in this reality we call Terra, because it was supposed to be beautiful, and it is still beautiful, but it's just overlaid. We cannot get to it because we're in this 3D bodies. It's much lighter than 3D, and it's even lighter than 5D. Many think. Such a soul says.
Did the tower happen on both Terras? Because I was told that I was like an architect on, at least on Terra 2. But then on Terra number 1, they was just matching it with their mind. Is that correct?
On Terra 2, so they created many copies, and so many copies would give them an opportunity to switch up the historic events back and forth, and to see how people would react. Let's say on Terra Uno, like 1, the World War II, what we consider, Germans disappeared, like they were conquered. On Terra 2, for instance, Germans won, and the Aryan race dominated. And now I see there are only white-skinned, blue-eyed people who live, just one race. And so on. There's different other copies. They have different scenarios they can send, because the kind of AI learns from different scenarios, so they wanted to multiply it so AI learns faster. Plus, you can fragment a soul and send parts of the soul in different avatars on different terras. So you can live a scenario of the same life with different events based on different copies of hers. And so AI can learn which life was better, decisions made, how it affected your mental, emotional bodies. Do you have trauma as a result? A lot of things like that. Mm. You're standing there just recording information I'm saying in the energetic level, and the etheric too. You're really like a historian type person who likes to connect the dots, because for you it's you also like to compare opinions of people or different information from different people, and a lot of times it doesn't coincide. And you're saying probably because we talk about different timelines and different terras, because each terra has multiple timelines also. So it's all kind of like hard to put together in one, because there's no one truth. The multiple truths, that's the biggest misconception that people have, that there's only one truth, there's only one way, there's only one history. But no, history splits. Everything always splits. It's kind of like a stem of a flower and the leaves grow. They split, they split, they split, they split. They always do that. Yeah.